Welcome, and thank you for listening to Birth Her, the podcast with Robin Robbins, the midwife, where we have real, raw, and uncut conversations about life and transforming negative experiences. If you're on a journey to birthing the highest version of you, join us as we are empowered to take inspired action to heal, activate inner liberation, and birth her to birth your new. Hey, everybody, and we are back. What better way to wrap up February, the month of love, okay, than having Coach Merry back? You guys, I'm super duper excited. Welcome to the Birther podcast. I am your illustrious, vivacious host, Robin Robbins, the midwife, and you are in for a treat. For those of you who don't remember Mary from the beginning of this season, let me go ahead and introduce her. Mary, the Divine Love Coach, marriage and family therapy grad student who is on a mission to help high achieving women obtain and sustain divine love through her divine love methodology. You guys, welcome back, the Divine Love Coach, Coach Mary.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction. It's a pleasure to be back.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I told you before I have to get you back. And I said, you know what, there's not a better way to wrap up the month of February than to have you come back and speak to the specifics of, romantic love. Like all throughout the month, we've been talking about self-love and then detoxing from bad relationships. And now we need you to come in and help the listeners. Yay, that part.
Yes.
So let's really dive into this. Mary, what is divine love? You always say divine love. Talk to us about that. What is that?
Okay, so divine love is essentially what, that inner girl inside really, really wants. It's a long-term partnership, okay, until you grow old, okay? It makes you feel secure, safe, and it complements you. And it complements you in so many ways that you can't imagine, and especially your lifestyle, because I serve high achieving women and their lifestyle can be crazy. So the divine love partnership that I look forward to, giving them is, and it complements their lifestyle, it complements their personality, it complements their family life, so many things. Divine love is, one could say that it's sacred. Just yesterday I went to mass with my husband, and in the night I went to the mosque. There was a some sort of event, and yesterday was such a really day, like a wonderful day, full of like the word of God. Because God is everywhere. It doesn't matter any house of worship that you go. I'm Muslim. My husband is Catholic, and we go to both houses. And God told me yesterday. He said, when you speak of divine love, please speak about it and shine light on the sacredness of divine love. Okay, because you are my children, right? We are God's children, and He wants us to be happy. He wants us to fulfill and live in His sacred love, the same love that He gives us. He wants us to live in that kind of love. So if you are not in that kind of love, if you're not feeling happy, you're not feeling the joy, you're not feeling sacredness, then you are not in divine love. Okay, and that is what I help you high achieving women receive, because that's what you need. I don't like these passion partnerships that are going on right now in this modern day love madness, and I'm gonna stand firmly on that. I might get some lashback from men or whoever's listening, but it's a big no.
That's right.
It's driving us, us high achieving women mad. Why? Because it's affecting our emotions, our mental states, our financial states, our family life, our schools, our dreams, our goals, they're being crushed. Are
Yeah.
being crushed.
Yeah.
Okay? They're being crushed. And it's because of these passion partnerships that the best way for me to put it is waterfalls. These are waterfalls, metaphorically waterfalls. And I wrote a post
Wow.
about this morning on Instagram. Waterfalls, okay, you can see it, right? It's beautiful, it's nice, and
Mm.
you want to touch it, right? But you can't hold on to it. So that is the metaphor that explains what I do not want for my high achieving women. Waterfall love is not what we want.
Wow. So
Okay.
passion partnerships. I hope you're moving so fast.
Yeah.
I hope you guys are getting what
Yes.
she is dropping down. She said passion partnerships are equivalent to waterfall love. They
Yeah.
look beautiful, but they don't last.
They don't last.
They don't
No, there's no
last
rush.
long.
Like, have you ever seen it? People like when they go on vacation, they jump on the waterfall. They're like so excited, and then what? Nothing. It's it. Like you would have to jump again in order to get the same rush. And that's the same thing with passion partnerships. Unless you keep jumping and sacrificing yourself, you're not going to experience that high. And that high is 3 seconds. Yes.
You came out the gates. Y'all, I got a pen because I want to make sure I ask some really good questions because this is good. Okay. This
Yeah.
is good. Okay, so back up. Because you took me so fast. Back
Yes.
up. You said sacred love is divine love. And this love is, you said it is secure, it is safe. Go back to that because you dropped the gem so fast. I want to make sure
Yes.
that everybody got
So
that.
it's
One more
long term.
time.
It's
It's
long
long
term.
term.
Makes you feel safe, secure, and it complements every part of you. Almost every part of you. It cannot be perfect. Certain parts is not going to be perfect, but like above 99%, 90 to 100%, it complements you. And that's super important. That's super important for my high achieving women because they have dreams, they have goals, they want things that they want to achieve. And if they have a partner who's not complementing their life or doesn't understand, then they're not going to achieve those things. So they're going to keep them from reaching their highest potential. So it's
Mm,
really important to have a divine partnership and not a passion partnership because the passion partnership is gonna inhibit your growth. Okay, and that's why my coaching business is not just it's 16 weeks, but it's a lifetime value. You have a
yes.
divine partnership, you have someone for the rest of your life, you are happy as day, you are supported throughout your goals, your journey, your life, your family life, your visions for family, whatever it is. It's so special, and that's why I'm now saying that it's sacred because that was the word of God that I received yesterday,
Wow, that
and
is
it's
so
beautiful.
powerful. Yeah, that is so powerful. Oh my gosh, y'all, we just getting started. Y'all may want to pull out pen and paper because as you can see, she's locked and loaded. And again, we're going to end February with you guys being empowered to have some type of insights to really, really, really position yourself to have the love that you truly desire. Again, as I said, we spoke about the self-love because that's first. We spoke about detoxing and unlearning from the past relationships in
Right?
terms of self and with others. Now we're setting you up with divine love. I'm just telling you, the Birth of Podcast can't get no better. Okay, we got
Exactly.
y'all back. All right, so Coach Mary, what
Yes.
is this divine love method that you often talk about? I hear you talk about that a lot, throughout your
Yeah.
social media and stuff like that. What is that? What is that about?
Okay. So divine love method is two things and two things only. It's cognitive awareness, which I'll go into later, and energetics. Okay. So
Mm,
cognitive awareness is being aware of something that you were not aware of before. So I'm going to give you an example, a personal example. Okay. So when I was in my first marriage, I used to think that everybody was miserable too. And if someone on Facebook, a happy couple, posted within my community, they posted a selfie or whatever together, I would scroll, I would be angry because I would first, my first emotion that would surface would be jealous. I would be jealous. And then I would say, you know what? Why should I be jealous? Because they're probably faking it. They're not really in love. And he's probably cheating on her. And she's so stupid. And all these thoughts, these are the real thoughts that would go on.
Yeah.
And this is not something I was not aware of. This is just how I was operating, because I was, so miserable in my first marriage that I thought everybody else was miserable. And even if they were happy, I would try to transform it into that they are miserable too, because like they say, misery loves company. And that's how it was.
Mm.
I wanted people to be like me because I wanted them to just be miserable too. Like, why should you be happy? Why can't I be happy? If I can't be happy, why should you be happy? So that was a really, I wouldn't even say selfish, because I just didn't know. You don't know what you don't know. And this is what I tell my clients.
Wow.
You don't know what you don't know. Let that sink in, because you don't know nothing unless someone hands you the mirror,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is why cognitive awareness is part of my ingredient, because once I give you that mirror, once you are able to see that this is your deepest, darkest thoughts and your beliefs, we need to know that. We need to shine light on that, because
Yeah.
if we don't, then you're going to keep operating from that stance, right? So I was
Mm-hmm.
operating in that instance with doubt. I was doubting love even existed,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? So I was operating in doubt, and it was just, my whole life was based on the beliefs that I had. That was
Mm-hmm.
my belief, and
Yeah.
that holds true to everyone, no matter what stance they're in right now in their love life. There's a certain belief or belief set of beliefs and set of thoughts
Yes.
that are making you see the world and the love life, scenery, the way it is, based on the way you think and feel.
Absolutely. That's so real. That's why when I speak to some of my like homegirls and they'll be like, yeah, because they ain't no good man. I don't subscribe to that. We're not gonna subscribe to that. And I help them real quick. You don't need to be saying that now, because if you believe that and then you begin to speak that, that is what you create and that's what you receive. Um, it may feel like it's hard to find, but they really do exist. And it's not this aloof, nebulous thing that, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
I can't, it's like this is so real. We have to stop that. We
Yes.
have to stop that. And it, as you said, that awareness, it really does start with us.
Yep.
It really does. For those of you listening, that are interested in finding your wife, your husband, whatever the case may be, that divine love, as Coach Mary would say, that
Exactly.
sacred love, you know, you guys, like, oh my gosh, if you're saying stuff like that, stop it.
Yeah, don't say
Stop
stuff like
it.
that.
Don't say
You're
that.
just you're just inhibiting the love that you are meant to receive. And there's so much more into it, but that's essentially what it is. And that
Hmm.
leads us into what you were saying about receiving, to energetics. So that's the other ingredient. So cognitive awareness is one, right? Because
Okay.
you have to know the beliefs that you had, and also you have to know where it stems from. And that goes back to, the inner child. The
Hmm.
inner
That
child.
healing.
Yes. And I just have to say this because I want to get off my chest. Like, so many people who are not healed, who are not aware, who have not been handed the mirror or don't even want to look at the mirror, they think this whole healing thing or this whole awareness journey is just a lot of woo woo woo. Like, I'm sorry to say, but it's not woo woo woo, because then you are staying in your woo woo sorrow. So, what is it that you want? In order for you to get what you want, you need to process yourself, because yourself right now is not where it needs to be. Because if it was, you would not be listening to this podcast right now. So just take a second to pull out the mirror.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nothing wrong with it, y'all. Y'all know it's a safe
No,
space over here. We're not judging
definitely.
you. We just want you to really grow.
And a question before I get on to the second ingredient, a question, for the audience that they can ask themselves and reflect on is how did my upbringing influence my current belief about love? Period. That's just one question.
Ooh, that's so good. That's so good. Huh?
This is a few $1,000 coaching question, okay? So how did that influence? And I'm gonna bring up myself to be in a vulnerable stance. For me, to wrap it up really fast, my parents didn't never have a good relationship. They never had until this very day, right? So all that
Mm,
animosity, all that toxicity, all that sacrifice for my mother has made in her marriage. That's what I thought love was. Oh, I have to work so hard, to make the marriage work. I have to outdo my husband. I have to pretend like everything's okay. I have to be the breadwinner. I have to do this. So, guess what? I mirrored her exactly. Okay? And I didn't know that until the mirror was handed to me,
huh.
right? So, you have to know from where are you operating from? Are you operating from your inner child or are you operating from your new version? And you don't have the new version until you process. There is no skipping in this game.
That part. And just to add to that vulnerability, I don't like to leave my people out there because here
Yeah,
we have real raw and uncut conversations. For me, in my first marriage, it was the same. I did not recognize that the way God gave it to me was you don't know how to love. I'm like, what do you mean I don't know how to love? Like I'll give my last. I have such a big heart. I'll give this shirt off my back. He said
yeah.
that's giving. You
Mm,
don't know how to love. Giving and loving are two different things. And when I really, really sat with myself, I recognized, oh my God, you are so right. I had to do what you said. I had
yeah,
to reflect on my upbringing. And there was so much that I saw. But more importantly, I'll just give this one part. I recognized that I was in a home where my mother was unavailable. I
right.
think, and I think I may have mentioned this before in a couple of podcast episodes, you guys,
Yeah,
but my mother was unavailable. She was the breadwinner. She was, like you just said, the breadwinner. She
yep,
was going out there. She's a high achieving woman. She's
yes.
always made great money, and all of that. But when it came to that affection, being there, that emotional availability, that just being kind of like being that safe space where we could figure things out, that was not available to us. And what I wound up doing is mirroring that.
Yes.
I mirrored that to the point where my partner questioned a lot if they were loved because I didn't know how. I thought I was. I thought I was doing it, but I didn't recognize that. Okay, you're lacking a lot of. There's a lot of stuff you're lacking here, and
Yep.
I guess I was coming across more. I don't want to say cold, but it probably was cold and
Yes.
hard because I didn't have that. But we don't have what we haven't seen, but then it's our responsibility, like you said, to process it and then work on it. And oh my God, yeah, girl, that right there. At this point, I'm tired of my guests coming on my show reading my life. I need, but no, I love it for real because I get help. I love to be helped. So go ahead, girl. All right, so
So the second part of the ingredient is energetics. And this is really important because it's not just positive energy. Like there's a lot of woo woo about that too, and people are
yeah,
so against it. They're like, "Oh yeah, yeah, think positive, and everything is gonna happen." We're tired of hearing that. No, no, energetics is way more than thinking positive.
yes,
Energetics means that you've done the cognitive awareness already, right? You can't just do energetics alone because okay, go to a depressed person because I was depressed. Go to a depressed person and say, think positive starting right now, and everything is going to be all right. There will just be like, girl, like, I don't know, like, I hate my life, so I don't know what you're talking about. So that's not going to work. It's not going to work, because it's like trying to give a new recipe to the old version of you. You have to become the new version first in
Mm,
order to align with sacred love.
keyword
Because you are
align.
not, I'm going to be so sorry to say this, but you are not deserving of sacred love if you are not the new version of you first.
Yes.
Because imagine if the audience is listening right now. Just imagine you have the love of your life right in front of you, like everything you want, the height, the color, the nationality, the family, the money, the material things, whatever, like all listed is right in front of you right now in this old version of you. Guess what? You are going to lose it. You're going to lose it. I don't know how long, maybe 30 days, maybe the Kim Kardashian 90-day challenge. I don't know. I don't know. But you will lose it
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because you are not energetically aligned. Your body, mind, and spirit needs to be aligned. And that's what energetics means, that you are calm, you are happy, okay? And you truly believe in your whole system inside of you that divine love exists, right? Because
Yes.
if you believe in God and you live in God's word, it doesn't matter what God you believe in. There's only one. So, love is sacred.
Yeah.
And if you believe in that and you believe that it's out there, all you have to do is just wait patiently and just
Mm-hmm.
believe and be happy right now. Not tomorrow, not the next day, not after that text message, not after that date, and not after that night.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah. That's so good. That's so good. I remember before I ended the mentorship, the NLM mentorship, our last session, we kind of was talking about this a little bit. And I told him, I said, don't be the woman that requires so much of your love interest, of the partner that you desire, but you're the type of woman that you will require so much, but you're not willing to be that first. We have to get into that place of alignment, like you're saying, where
Yep.
our mind, our spirit, like everything about us, we are aligned. Not only do we believe it exists, but whatever it is that you also desire from another, you make sure you are that. And
Yep.
and like you said, that comes with that processing. We cannot escape that processing.
No.
We have to process self first. Hence, you have to birth her. Period. There's no getting out of that. I mean, the development, we just can't get out of that. There's no skipping that. You have
No.
to be willing to go through that process and or the growing pain of that. And it's okay because at the end of the day, we're going to be all the more better for it. And it's that alignment that helps to bring about that manifestation. Oh my God, this
And I
is
want to
so
shine light
good.
on coaches right now, like coach like you, coach like me. You need a coach, period.
Mhm.
Period. I don't care if it's me, if you hire me or you don't hire me, you hire Robin, you don't hire her. Anyone, any coach that you feel spiritually aligned to, like, okay, this coach I feel can give me that result, go for it. That's the best advice I'm going to give you, because you can take all this in and let it soak in, but by tomorrow you forgot about it.
This is
Okay?
true.
And also, how are you going to implement these type of concepts that are so foreign to your old version at the moment? You need a practitioner who knows what they're talking about, who's been
Whew.
there, and who's already where you want to be. I am a perfect example of the divine love. I'm in divine love, and a lot of coaches out there, maybe they're not living proof of what they speak. I'm living proof of what I speak. So if I'm what you want,
Say
then
that.
come and get it. Come and get it. And stop, if you feel bitter the way I was in the past, don't feel bitter. If there's something that you want in someone, what I've learned, go ask them how to get it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can't beat them, join them.
That part. Listen, I love that you brought that up. Like, I love that you brought that up. Um, I always say every coach has a coach too. Like, I
Yeah.
have mentors and coaches and stuff that I invest in. Because I believe in what it is that we do. And I've invested in my past and like all of that in terms of coaching and stuff like that. But you said something so great. You said, if you see what you want in someone else, go ask them how to get it. How,
Yeah.
how that is so, 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 so powerful. You also stated that you are living proof, and that's a big thing for me, that you are living proof of, what you coach. And I'm in a space where I keep saying this to people. I keep saying this to people like, listen, you have to be in a space where you understand that, yeah, they have been where you are. That's important, which is essentially what you're saying. But you want someone who isn't detached from humanity.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of coaches, they package themselves to be like so perfect. That's for me personally, it's a turn off. I've been through too much in life. I know this thing called life for
Yes.
real.
The
So
hard
if
knock
you
life.
come to that part, so
Yeah.
if you and why do I say this? Because even the people with the most money, they still have not arrived and they still have things that they may not have those same problems, but there's still something that they are working through and are or evolving through. Why do I say that? Because we're in this game called life. And life is an ever moving situation. So to
Yes.
say that you have arrived means that you are just, I'm here. So if you're here and there's nowhere else to go, then you're stagnant, you're not growing. How is that life? Life is a
Yeah.
process of this is ever moving. It's a continuum. And if
Yes.
you have arrived at a destination, if you're there, then I mean, what else is there for you to do in life, right? So I love how you said that, but I love also how you are like just so transparent. Like, yeah, I've been there. Like, I listen, I did that. Like, that was me. I was bitter and I was mad. And I didn't want them to have it neither because if I couldn't
Yep.
have it, you couldn't have. I love that. To me, that's what I mean by embodying, like, yeah, I can help you, but I'm human too.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And then, I may not have this issue, but I may have another issue I'm working through. Try me again next week. See what it is. you know, I just love that. I love your transparency. So I want to get into this because I know this is the part that people are waiting for.
Oh my gosh.
What are your thoughts? And I need you to come on with it, Coach Mary. What are your
Okay.
thoughts on high achieving women when it comes to love? Because there's a lot going on there.
I categorized it. Okay.
Oh, it's a lot. Yes, come on, drop these gems, girl.
Yes, I structured it so it's clear as day. Okay, this is structure one of a high achieving woman. Part one. You might not be in this part. Okay, so you might be in the other two. Okay, part one, high achieving women. All high achieving women are, they're how I call it in the Bronx terms, hustlers. Okay, they work hard, very hard for what they want. But in their love lives, this is part one. They're in and out of either mediocre or toxic relationships. This is part one. In and out of mediocre, meaning like she can do better. Like, have you ever seen like a drop dead gorgeous girl with like a two guy? Okay, I mean, God forgive me, we're all beautiful, God's children, whatever. But listen, this girl is a 10 and she's with a 2.
Wow.
Or she's with a 6, but she's, like you could tell that she could do better. Like she could do better. Like, come on.
Yeah. So what determines these numbers? I'm sorry, but I just want I'm
It
going
can,
in for
it
the
can,
juggler.
the numbers can, it's subjective, right?
Okay.
I'm just saying, but like, for example, looks, education, family background, ambition, or it doesn't have to be like, okay, I'm going to give you my example of myself. So
It's based
when
on the person, basically the numbers. It's based on their criteria,
I'm just
basically.
using like an example. Like if you've seen
Okay.
like you've seen a friend and she was so beautiful, and then she was with a guy who was he didn't look the best, and she's super successful and he's like nothing, like maybe like I don't want to down talk any profession, but you get what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
she can do, but she's a high achieving woman. It's not just any
Okay.
woman now. So like she deserves to be with someone who's high achieving as well. It doesn't necessarily mean that he's where he needs to be. For example, let's say a high achieving woman is making 100,000. Doesn't necessarily mean the guy needs to be making 100,000. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying like in terms of looks, in terms of ambition, in terms of dreams, in terms of complementary, it's not she's just with him because that's like what she latched onto. Have you ever seen a guy who is like the super, super, super nice guy and he like does whatever the girl says?
Mm.
Mediocre, right? Like, cause
Mm-hmm.
she can do better than that. She can do better than that. She needs someone who can challenge her and be on her like vision.
Okay.
And he doesn't have to be making the same money. I'm going to use myself as example. So when I
Okay.
first met my husband, I told you I was in $10,000 debt because I just
Mm-hmm.
got out of my marriage.
Mm-hmm.
I was still a high achieving woman because I was working two jobs.
Yeah.
I was working two jobs and I was trying my best, and I was living in a New York City apartment by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still a high achieving woman. I met my husband who works in construction and project management. He was he was making good money, but he was spending it because he was living, the nightlife. He was going, to meet with girls at the bar, da da da. But as soon as he met me, after 1 month, he's like, you know what? I could really see a vision with you. You work really hard. I work really hard. How about we stop spending money and we save our money and we go toward having a house? And now we are a few months away from our financial goal. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking
Mm.
about you have a mediocre partner who's just there wasting time, not challenging you mentally, just kind of there. That's what I'm talking about. I want to make that clear.
Mm.
So, and my husband has no college degree, and I
Mm-hmm.
have a college degree, right? So, but it's mediocre in my terms. It's mediocre. She can do better.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
For her high achieving vision, she can do better because she needs someone to complement her, right?
Gotcha.
So the second part is toxic.
Mm.
This is just plain no good. Like he's no good for her mental state, not good for her emotional state, and she's now at work or starting up her business, and she's taking too many breaks. She's not focused, or she's super focused at work, and then as soon as she leaves, she's a mess.
Mm.
She's a mess, and she keeps
Mm.
going in and out, and she's calling all her friends, what should I do? And then she goes back to him, and the cycle keeps going and going and going and going.
Mm. Mm.
This is a no, right? This is the high achieving part one. Part two, this is gonna trigger some people. Okay. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
I'm scared for this one.
Don't be scared. This is what you do, coach. You know what you see out here in these divine love streets.
Okay. Singleness as strength in facade form.
That's deep. That is so deep.
I'm dead.
That is so. Was that it? That's it for
That's
that
part
one?
two. That's part
That's
two.
oh wow. So wow. Okay, break that down. That was deep. Break that down.
Okay, so this is the woman who's fed up. She's done. She don't care. She thinks that love does not exist, or she thinks it exists for certain people, like you have to be special or something to
Mm,
get it. And she's like, you know what? I'm just gonna go hard on my goals and dreams. I don't give a flying f about anybody else. I'm focused. I'm single, and that's my strength. And I don't need nobody.
yeah, that is toxic. That is a I see the facade. I see that. Yeah, I see that. Because at the end of the day, we could tell ourselves that, but no man was made to be an island. At the end of the day, even in terms of us, and you know this, you know, um, your therapy background, you already know that. But they, how is it, Maslow's or Maslow's, that pyramid? Well, the
Yeah,
thing I always forget how to pronounce that, but
Maslow.
it's that pyramid. Say it again.
Maslow, yes.
Maslow. Okay. Um, that pyramid of the things that we need to thrive as human beings. So
Yeah.
to say, and a part and on that pyramid, one of those things that we need is that interaction with another human being, that relationship with another human being. So to say that you don't need that ever, you know, at this point, you know, at who are we kidding?
Right. I
And
feel like it's
and you
the
could,
ounce of that wants it. There has to be a certain ounce, otherwise you're not human because that's what we crave. That's our innate feeling. We
mhm,
crave love. We crave physical touch. We crave
yes,
that. We
that
want that.
security, that safety. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. And that's why I love your definition of divine love because I'm like, oh my God. Like,
That's what we
I
want.
can't wait to send this podcast to a few people because I've been having some private, you know, just girl chat, private
Yes.
conversations where I
Yes.
have been expressing this awareness that I have now. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? In terms of the little, you know, my little journey that I've been on, my little private journey.
Right. Right.
You know, and I'm like, yeah, this is what I need. This is what it, you know, it's just, I feel like I just so love these love talks. I do. I feel like I'm in a season. I'm in a season of my life where this is something that I'm really interested in all aspects of it because of where I'm at in my personal journey, you know, and how I expressed earlier how God was kind of like showing me, like, yeah, you don't know how to love. Now, He gave me that some years ago, and I had started that journey.
Right.
And the first part of that was the self love, and He was kind of like showing me, like, you know, everybody's always talking about this in terms of loving others. I want you to take that scripture and flip it toward yourself and learn how to love yourself. And then from there, you know, it grew, and it's like, okay, now I'm in that portion of loving others in a healthy way.
Yes.
And you know, toxic doesn't always mean like the person is toxic or you're toxic. It could just be the belief system in which you're using to govern how you do something can be
Correct.
unhealthy,
How
and
you
it could be
operate.
toxic. Yeah, you know what I
Yes.
mean? And so there was
Yes.
a lot of unlearning that I had to do, and I'm still even in process of just a lot because of what you said, that childhood and what was in the upbringing
Yep.
that was either missing or when it was displayed, how it was displayed. Like, you know, I watched my mom get beat, I mean, all types of stuff. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
these things being displayed, if there's no correction, subconsciously somewhere, we're going to be pulling certain things toward us. And then we're like, what is this? I don't want this. You know what I mean? I want that. But
But that's
because
what
of
you're attracting because your awareness and energetics is off. Period.
eggs,
So that's
that
why
part, coach.
it's my two ingredients, and it's never seen before on the market. I mean, I've
Mm,
seen these dating coaches on the market, and they're like, yeah, like this is my service. This is literally their service. I will write your bio for whatever paid dating service and I will coach you on what to wear and what to do and da da da. That is all superficial nonsense. You don't need that. It's not about what you wear. It's not about what you do. Like when I met my now husband, I was
Mhm.
wearing traditional covered, extremely covered clothes because that's all I knew from my past.
Mhm.
But because I had Shamar as my coach and I was working on the awareness and working my alignment, he looks to pass those clothes and he bought me new clothes. Because
Yes.
he's like, you're young. Let's up your fashion. It has nothing to do with that. That's superficial things. Getting advice on
Mhm.
when to text, what to do, how to go there. Should I go late? Should I go early? Should I text him? Not text him? Should he didn't text me, so I should not text him for 3 days now? What
It's,
these rules are? Oh my
it's
god!
crazy. Yeah. 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 I would have to agree with you on that. Like the rules are crazy. I do hear a lot of the jargon, but on the other hand, I do have to play devil's advocate. I do see in certain rules, I do see validity to them. I really feel like it comes down to maybe like and I hate to say it this way, but it's true because cultures are different. It
Yeah,
really is based on the culture that you're in at that point, you
yeah,
know, and who you're trying to date, and their culture, where some of that stuff kind of comes into play. So for instance, let me give you an example of what I mean. The whole texting thing.
oh my
Like,
god, it's a big
yeah, like right, yeah, like in my culture, yeah, we can't just, I'm sorry, honey. But if you're, I'm a grown up. Like I'm a full blown grown woman over here. Yeah, you can't text me all day, every day. That's not, what is that? Let's have a conversation.
and
So you know what I mean? So like
and
in
that's
certain
different. That's
cultures,
different from someone from another person. So that's what you're saying, right?
yeah,
But then that's the beauty of humanity. We're all unique.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what works for you doesn't work for someone else. Because I'm gonna just give
Mm-hmm.
you a quick example of a family friend. He was asking me for advice about the girl, and she wants phone calls. She wants to be called. She wants to be texted. She wants to be, and I'm like, okay, because this girl needs validation, and she's scared.
Mm.
You need to make it your business to make her feel safe and that you are not going to hurt her intentionally.
Yeah,
Because again, you don't know where that relationship is going to end or is it
right.
going to thrive. So you may not want the phone calls, but she does. Everyone is different.
Yeah,
So that's where you lay the law in the beginning. So yeah, those are the little things after you did the awareness, after you're aligned, and now you know what
yes,
you want, and that's what I
exactly.
coach the dating coach module, which you coach with me week by week, and we prepare like what is it that you want
Yeah. I
because
think,
you have to
go
you
ahead.
have to really be clear. You have to be very clear. Like I make the clients right down to the T, like okay, I want to be reached out to this amount of times or this or that because it gives a sense of direction from the beginning versus you date someone and they're like a few weeks in and now you're bothering them because you want to be called. And you didn't
Yeah, yeah,
say that
yeah,
from the beginning, right? So if
yeah.
you express your expectations from day one, or at least by date two,
Mm,
then you're able to filter out the people who don't work for you.
absolutely. Absolutely. I'm I'm a straight shooter. I can't help it. That's the New York in us. I
Yes,
can't
yes.
help that. So I said all of that up front. But what I mean by culture is this is what I was alluding to when I say culture in terms of that. I do agree, yes, everyone is different, but what I'm alluding to with that is again, culture, ethnicity,
Yeah.
um, and how certain people are brought up and groomed. The reason why I say I don't mind a text here and there, but what I'm saying is we are not going to have a full blown conversation via text only and you want me to take you seriously. I just can't do that. I cannot view you serious if you don't have just enough common sense to just pick up the phone.
But that's the
And the
modern.
reason, yeah, but the reason why I say that, why it's a cultural thing, is because you got to remember, again, depending on culture, we have we're different ethnicities both from New York, but
Yeah.
different ethnicities. So in my culture, in terms of African American, right,
Yes.
that texting thing is there to dehumanize. Like if I'm going in because I'm like, oh, she's hot, she's beautiful, I just want this to be a physical thing, then I'm just gonna text. And that's what I mean when I say that at some point in this game, and it's not a literal game, but it's just slang I'm using.
Right.
At some point, culture does play a part. And even
Yes.
though you guys normally hear me say I'm anti all that stuff, I'd be like, leave all that stuff, you be free. Like, but in certain things, it's like, dang, I wish it wasn't the case, but we find ourselves maneuvering around these. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I just feel like those I just, like you said, it really depends on the person and what is set up in the beginning. But
I think it's
and
important to express, for example, like if you were in the whole divine love scene, right? And a person is texting and you don't necessarily like that. And then you've expressed it before that I don't like this, but yet they're still doing it. Um, my next question to you, if you were, let's say you were my client, I would say, well, have you expressed the meaning of why you don't like that? Because
oh
what
yeah,
you said, like, it dehumanizes people. So now that person is continuing after you express the message and the deep meaning, the cultural influence of how you view things. So two things have to happen.
it's a wrap.
Either that person has to go, or there has to be a compromise of your belief in order to match that person if the all the other parts are good. Does that make sense? Like,
Yes,
let's say all around they match you, they compliment you, they make you feel good, and that's like the only problem. And let's say there was a compromise solution of, let's say, oh, well, I plan to move in with you in a few months, and I think that we will be around each other more, and maybe that texting thing is not going to be an issue because I'm going to be seeing you at home. Or the compromise will be I will be spending weekends with you. Whatever it is, there's a compromise now to reach what you want. But if that other person is not reaching you in the middle, then you don't need them. That's not divine partnership. That's passion
exactly.
partnership.
Yeah, and I see. I'm still growing. I'm still growing, but y'all already know how your coach is. That's a no for me. I'm sorry. I'm
Yes,
just, I don't care. I don't care to have a conversation about a compromise about, nah. At that point, it's a no for me. I don't know. Here, this is my thing. When somebody really wants something, do they not go after it?
yes, they
You
do.
see, that's my mindset. You know, you're gonna go after it with everything in you. You're gonna study her. You're gonna like you're it, and it's just, it just is what it is. Like,
But I do have
it's
to say,
okay.
that living with someone eases all of those little parts. In terms of like, you're there, he's there, you're there, he's there. So you're focusing on your daily life, he's focusing on his daily life, and then you meet for dinner, for example, every day. So then those things that give you sort of an uneasy feeling, then they get alleviated. But the problem is taking that risk from going from that something that you don't really want, probably like those little things, and then moving in. Do you get what I'm saying?
I get exactly what you're saying, but see, I don't believe in that neither.
No, but I'm saying like that.
I
But
know what you're saying, coach.
that's why it's important just to choose a divine partner first, and then obviously
Yeah. And
obviously
that
you.
that is what I'm alluding to. That part.
Yes, yes.
Choosing just let's just
Just
get to the
choose
right
the right
part. Yeah,
one.
let's just get the right one
But
first.
you get my dynamic of living, and then like those things, it's,
Yeah.
you know,
Yes, but I understand everything you said though. So I want let me affirm that. It
yeah,
makes total sense. I understand it. But for this girl,
yeah.
you know me, Mary. I'm weird. For this girl, it's gonna be a no. If you, if you
I know.
you know, we gotta cut up a little bit. It's gonna be a no if you don't have. Come on now, come on now. Like
And
I just
that's the modern day stuff. Like
yes, that
it
I
could
don't know.
just
I think
it
I'm
could
a
just
little
be what
traditional in that
it
way.
could just be it could but it could be what you're attracting. Like it could be what the audience is attracting. Because like I said, if they're not doing their part and those two
Mm-hmm.
ingredients, that's what you're attracting. You have to like
Mm-hmm.
be clear what you want. You have to say to source energy, which is God in
Mm-hmm.
my term, source energy.
Yes.
What is it that you really want down to the T? And that's what I make my clients
Mm-hmm.
do. And that's what you will attract. Because once you believe that, it's going to come into existence. It could be literally like
Mm-hmm.
in your notebook, I want so and so to, my future divine love partner to text me throughout my day or call me on my lunch break. I
Mm-hmm.
want them to take me on dates. I want them to do literally
Right.
so many things. And this is
Mm-hmm.
part of scripting attracting.
Yes.
You're scripting the life that you want.
Mm-hmm.
You're scripting the partnership that you want. But like
Mm-hmm.
if you're jumping in with this overversion, you're jumping in with no strategy, then you are gonna be left with so many things you don't want.
Yeah. No, I just think that right there, that's a cultural thing. I'm African American, so that's a cultural thing. That is not an attraction thing. That is what these it's unfortunate. That it's a cultural thing. This you're growing up, you're listening, and I love music. I don't downplay the rappers and stuff, but you gotta what are they being groomed in? This is what they're being groomed in, so they think this is cute. You know what I'm thinking? They think this is the thing to do, and it's not. So for those of the people out there listening, grow up too. So us women, we are going to process, like Coach Mary said,
Yep.
and be who we need to be. But at the same time, these partners out here are these those who are, you're looking for a mate. Make sure you do your work too and you grow up too. Because you'll approach a woman, like in my case, approach me, and I'm gonna be like, that's a no for me. Coach Mary is so gracious. For me, that's a no. I don't like that. That's a no. I'm too grown for that. I have too much to do.
Yes.
Very busy lady. That's going to be a no for me. Sorry. Coach Mary, I got to cut up.
I
That's going to
know.
be that's going to be a no for me, my dear. Again, a text here and there is great, but if you text and you never pick up the phone, something's wrong. I'm sorry.
So like
Something's wrong. And
you call and they don't pick up.
your intention, no, it's not even that. It's just a natural thing. Like, again, when you want something, you go after it. So it's my mindset around it. If I want something and I want to go after it, I may text you, right? I may text you one day, okay, but then at some point I want to hear your voice. At some point, we have technology, we have devices. At some point I want to see your face. You know what I'm saying? And if
Well,
that's not the type of vibe that you're on, then that to me, that's a lack of effort. That's what it is.
it could be
That's
a
a
lack
lack
of
of
effort.
effort. I think I intimidate people too a lot. I experience
Wait.
that a lot.
Wait, can I now get onto my psychological side?
Oh, here we go.
All right. All right.
Girl,
You want to go there? Let's have this conversation.
I got another question though after this.
Okay. Okay. If it could be viewed as a lack of effort. Let's say this was a divine partnership, right? Let's say
Okay.
hypothetically this was your divine partner, right?
Okay.
And now we're challenging this whole situation.
Okay. Oh,
Um
this is really good, you guys. I hope you guys are learning from this experience.
yes,
Yeah,
this
this
is
is good. Come on, let's go.
okay, so you see, okay, how I said the mirror, right? So let's say
Yeah.
because you've done your investment, you've done your time and healing, like that's actual place, it's actual thing. You've done it all, right?
Mhm.
And now you're coming to me. Let's say you're my client. You're telling me, this person views. I mean, this person does not call me, and I view this to be such a bad thing, right?
Uh-huh.
So why can't you do the same thing that you did for yourself for that person? And that's what I teach my clients. And it is to delve deep into their psyche. And the way you delve deep into someone's psyche is the similar advice I gave to that guy. You first, when you do it in a physical experience, because text, phone call, that thing does not work. So you do it in a great time. Like, let's say you really like this person and that's like the only thing like bugging you. So you say to them, like you get to, how was your day, yada yada. Get to the point. Tell me about your relationships in the past. How were they? And then they're gonna start talking. I said, how did you communicate with them before? And let's say this person is like 40 years old, 45, or maybe they're in their 30s, I don't know, whatever. It took them a long time that they were in the same dynamic. And they said, well, for X amount of years, for 30 years, 40 years, I was texting people and that was it. So now they have a narrative, a dynamic that they've established throughout the years. They themselves don't know how to express, communicate, and love. So there comes the you. You are a well finished product. So why don't you use your knowledge to your advantage and delve deep into people? And like what you just said, I'm so happy you said that, because high achieving women have impatience.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. That's one
Okay,
of them
I'm
things I'm
calling
working on.
you out.
I don't
I'm
have patience.
calling you out. So
Yeah, I
let's
don't.
say, you've done all the weeks of my divine love coaching almost, and you met this person. Now it's your turn to delve deep into their childhood. That's my advice. Delve deep into how their relationships were in the past. Find out what they don't like. Why are we only focusing on what we don't like?
It's true. That's true. If it's someone you feel like you said, is a divine love match.
Right,
Because I feel like if doing that with everybody, that could be a waste of time,
yes,
right? Because
yes,
it could be what you said, really a passion partnership is
right,
really not even a divine or sacred thing. So then that
right.
would be a waste of time, right? So
But
I
I
feel like,
challenge them to do it, because not everyone is going to be my client. So
right,
they're operating from whatever they're operating from. But just doing that, even with maybe just anyone that they're dating, I just would challenge the audience to do that.
okay,
Because you're not losing anything by doing this. You're not losing anything by learning about someone's childhood, their belief system, their dynamics. You might find that passion partnership may change,
mm,
because this is a high version, technique, like high version of your self technique.
yes,
So even if the audience were to do that this weekend, let's say someone they're talking to, just for fun, like just do it. I want you to see how things can change.
yeah,
Just like assignment to
yeah,
practice, like getting to know people such a deeper level, because we're
yes,
so used to having our guards up due to
mm,
this superficial stuff, like this
yeah,
text and the phones and the this and the that. Like literally be in a physical place and get to know someone on
mm-hmm,
that deeper level. And
yeah,
I'm gonna guarantee that nobody asked them those questions. Nobody cared. Third part. The
okay.
third part of a high achieving woman is singleness and sadness.
Oh,
Yeah.
talk to us about that.
So this is the one who's on Facebook, Instagram. She sees all these people happy,
Mm,
and she's just sad because she feels alone, and she probably has her own apartment that she bought, or probably a house, and she has her own business or a really great career, and she just
yeah,
feels alone. Like she does her daily due diligence and then she goes home and she's lonely.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I understand that because again, like we said before, we are
Yeah.
created to have relationship.
Right.
That's how we thrive as human beings. But I don't know, Coach. What do you say? I would say, girl, you can have a juicy life. Like fill your life up,
Yeah,
That's what I would say. What would you say, coach?
I would say do your healing work first. Because like you're going out there to the love field, to the dinners, the bars, wherever you're going,
Mhm.
and you're going there with the old version. Why would you go there with the old version? Just freaking work on yourself. It don't even take that long. Literally, it takes like a month probably or two. And then you go out there and you are going to be aligning and attracting the right people. Meaning like
Mhm.
90% of what you want on your list that you create with me, you're going to
Mhm.
be seeing that in the field. You're going to be choosing the one that you want.
Yes. Yes.
Versus you going out there, you're operating from loneliness, if it was from
And
physical
desperation,
desperation,
mhm, which is
and then
very low vibrationally.
it's low vibration, and you're going to attract more low
Yeah.
vibration, or you're going to attract manipulation, and then you're going to go into the compartment of going in and out of toxicity. So these three compartments are like they're 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 three doors that these women can go in and out. So
Wow.
it's like mediocrity, when it's like, oh, I found someone, but he's not the one, but like I'll be with him. I'm just waiting.
Settling.
Yeah,
Mm.
like I'm settling.
Mhm.
Then there's a toxicity compartment. Then you're so done with toxicity, and then you go into the singleness as strength. Like I'm good, I'm good. I don't need nobody. I don't need nobody. And then there comes a moment, maybe after like drinking a few glasses, of loneliness. So it's
Wow.
like you moving in these doors.
Mhm.
These doors are like, and it could be in and out in 1 month. Like you could be in all these doors in 1 month,
Wow.
because you could be
Wow.
in a toxic relationship, and then you're like, you know what, I had enough of that, and now I'm gonna be single. And then one night,
Yeah.
a trigger. You know what? I'm going out. and then
Mm.
and then you get lonely, and
Mhm.
then 2 days later you're like, oh, what I did the other night probably end up with a one nighter, and I'm gonna stay single. I'm good. You're going in and
Mm.
out of these doors, and this is so emotionally exhausting.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you're first of all, you're operating from like madness. This is chaos.
Yes.
This is chaos
Yes.
for your body,
Mhm.
for your mind, for your spirit.
Yeah. Oh, see that right there. See, that's why. Write that last line right for your mind, your spirit. This is why I'm the way I am. Go ahead, coach. I just want you to know I'm not
I
being
guess I'm
funny,
coaching you.
but
I'm
this is
coaching.
why. No, I'm just saying you already know how I do. Like,
Yes.
this is why I am the way I am. Like, oh, nope, that's not gonna work. Because my mind, my spirit, like, woo, honey, listen, go ahead, coach. This is good. Go ahead.
So yes, but if you were my client, I would say you are attracting what you don't want at this moment. Period.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be brutally honest about it. And then
Mm-hmm.
I would work with you on how to attract, because you've done your healing part. You
Mm-hmm.
got the cognitive awareness. But now it's just energetics.
Mm-hmm.
Energetics, like I said, it's not just feeling positive. You
Mm-hmm.
you feel good on all parts of your level, and then you're clear on what you want. But
Yeah.
you don't go about it on, I'm going to give you an example, like not with impulsiveness, because this is something else high achieving women do. They'll like be done with someone and then they'll go on their Facebook and then they'll text someone else, or someone will text them and then they'll entertain that, and then someone will text them and entertain that. First of
Mm-hmm.
all, you need to be very, very, very clear. Literally, like I
Mm-hmm.
said, just take a piece of paper and write down exactly what you want. This is only applies
Mm-hmm.
to Robin because she's healed. But you know what I mean? Exactly what you want.
Yo, but coach, you want to know what's so funny? I'm not in the market. I'm not. And I'm not,
Okay.
I'm not, I'm not, I'm not, I'm not. I'm just chilling. I really am.
Okay.
Because I just feel like I need time to be with myself. And everybody is different. Like I need
Yeah.
time to be with myself. But you are 150% right. I hope y'all are picking up what she's putting down because she's 150% right. She just is. But I am not, and it's not like toxic. It's not like single and
It takes
sad. It
time.
ain't none of that. It's just like I just believe at the end of the day, even though like I've had several healing journeys just throughout, period.
Right.
And I feel like I'm in a purge right now, person. I feel like I'm in a purge right now. I feel like because of that purge, I'm just with myself because I need that purge. See, sometimes you can be healed and you can be aware and you can have done that work, but if you haven't literally purged though, sometimes you just need a little time to throw some things away. And it's
Yeah.
not necessarily about healing, but you just need to purge it. Just purge. You could attract not based off of what you believe or what's necessarily in you, but you can attract from, I'll take that back. You can attract from the residue that's there.
Mm,
So it may not be you and a part of who you are, but because you haven't purged from the last situation,
the
that
dynamic.
residue is there. And so now you're attracting, and see, well, that's why I say I'm tapped in that way though. That's why I was like,
It's like you healed
oh,
like
okay,
self to self. I understand. You healed yourself to self, but not self to other.
ha, that part.
Yes.
Exactly. And
Yes.
so it's like that
And that takes
residue,
work. Yes. That
that's
takes
it.
work.
Yep. I love you, Mary.
And that's what
That
that's
part right
what I have
there.
my clients do because it's so hard to do it alone.
Mm-hmm.
Like go ahead and
Hmm.
try. It's not an easy thing.
That part. That part. Coach, tell us about the phases. You often talk about the fact that there are phases, right?
Yes.
Yeah, talk to us about that. You've broken down your thoughts on high achieving women and when it comes to love, how there's these four different doors that they swing in and out of and stuff like that. But what are these phases, these other phases that you were alluding to?
Okay. So the first part is obtaining. So after you've done awareness and energetics, you found your divine partnership, right? Like I am here, I helped you, you have your divine partner, right?
Hmm.
That part may seem like the hardest part, but
Hmm.
it's not. It's not. Like when you work with me, the energetics is so on point after the healing, you attract the right divine partnership. The
Hmm.
hardest part is phase 2.
Mm.
Phase 2 is the transition. Cuz like you said, I'm so glad you said it, self to other is hard
That's something else. Yes. Yes.
because yes, like you said, may have done all that healing work, but now it's almost like a bunch of theory and a lot of healing, and then you're like, oh, okay, this is the test. Now I have to really put everything onto paper, and that transition is hard as hell. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you the personal example. I may have said this in the first podcast, but when I moved in with my now husband, like he was my boyfriend at the time, the transition was so difficult that I told you for 1 month straight, I thought I don't love this guy. I'm like, how do I even, what is he doing here? First of all, like he moved in so fast. Okay. And second, I don't think this is like real love. Like I don't know, do I love him? Do I not? So I'm asking Coach Shamar. I'm like, do I love him? Like I don't even know. She's like,
Uh,
she's like, yeah, you do. I'm like, how? She's like, you do because you're patient with him, you communicate with him, you respect him, you get along with him, you don't fight with him about like all this crazy stuff in the past, and you guys compliment each other. Bingo. But the
mm.
transition, the feeling like, oh my God, do I really love him? Like, oh my God, like anxious. I'm so anxious,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yeah.
That transition of settling into a normal dynamic.
Yeah. Oh my
It's
gosh.
it is so hard because your body and your mind is not used to this. So like your body and mind now healed, right? It's all good,
Yeah.
right? Like, it went to like surgery. Now it's out of
Right.
surgery, right? It's out of surgery and now it's in a cast. Your heart is in a cast,
Ooh.
right? So now you decided to go on a date with the cast, right? So the cast needs time to take off. So the transition now is really going to be a make or break. You, like I said, you can meet the love of your life right now, but you can lose them in 2 seconds.
Right. Right. Capacity is everything. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it all comes down to your emotion and your mind.
Yeah.
Your emotion and your mind. Like
Mhm.
that's who's talking to you. And I'm gonna say this in a spiritual way. It's
Mhm.
devil talking to you.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
the devil's like, no, this is new. This is new. You don't go there. That's not good for you. When in reality, it is. That's that's
Mm.
that's God's love for you. That's sacred love.
Mhm. Yes, 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 yes,
But
yes.
yet the old you is like, wait a minute. Like, why are we going
Wow.
here? Why are we going here?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And this really goes on in your brain. Like,
Yeah.
you're like really like, and it's really exhausting because you're like talking to yourself and you're looking at the divine partner. You're like asking yourself, do I love this person? Am I even deserving of this? What is it? How the
Yeah.
hell did I get here?
Mhm.
Doubting stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that can lead
Wow.
to the little superficial stuff like trying to go through their Facebook, trying to go through their phone, trying to, because you're looking for stuff now.
Oh, wow.
You're trying to validate your inner mind, your inner devils,
Wow.
because you're looking for it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you don't
Yeah.
have the support, you're going to lose that partner.
Yep.
You need the emotional support.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
obtaining is one. Transition is two. Part three is gets even more challenging. It's part three. It's sustaining the partnership.
Mhm. That's
So
right.
now you're like, okay, I'm done with the transition. I deserve this. I love him. He loves me. Yada yada. This part I've been meaning to tell you all day. Sustaining is not for the weak.
Shh, you better say that again. You better say that again.
Okay, and the lessons God gave you in, let's say, your past marriage, your past relationship,
Mhm.
He's gonna give it to you in the divine one. You wanna know
Mhm.
why? He wants to know, did you learn your lesson?
Right.
So that happened to me. This is very personal what I'm gonna share. My husband, he was not in his best spirits these past 2-3 months, right? And no one knew about it.
Mhm.
I was being his like coach. I'm like, all right, like what is it that you want to do to get you like to think positive or do things? I'm like, oh, go play soccer with your friends, or like really tapping into his psyche and being there for him. And it was not easy on me
Mhm.
because I'm like, I have so much things I'm doing. I'm building up a startup. I'm in school and even building up a coaching business about love. But here I am like going through my challenges in my
Mhm.
marriage. And guess
Mhm.
what? We went past it and we are like stronger than ever.
Mhm.
That was a challenge that I failed in my first marriage.
See? Mhm. Come on here, coach. Yes.
Yes,
Mhm.
my ex-husband had a health issue that
Mhm.
I didn't intend to
Mm.
because
Mm.
there was so much like that's when you're in a partnership where like almost 90+% is no good and then
Yeah.
you don't have the energy no more
More.
to
Yes.
to even give that type of care, right? But
Yes.
when you're in a divine partnership, there's
Mhm.
going to be small bumps.
Yeah.
And you have the energy to fight it because you're like, well, he's such a great guy and for most of everything like we're good. It's just a small bump now. So that's God's challenge. And you're going to have the energy to fight it
Yeah.
because it's a divine partnership. It's not a
Mhm.
partnership where it drains you like consistently.
That's good. That was good right there.
And
I hope
that's the
y'all heard
thing.
that.
But
Mhm.
even like it's the same challenge. Okay, so God gives you the challenge in the past, right? He's
Mhm.
gonna give it to you in a divine partnership. but I want you to forgive yourself for not
Yes.
feeling in the past, because like you were drained in all corners. You didn't have the strength then. You didn't have love. That was not love.
Right. Right.
That
Or the know-how
or
too, in
didn't
some cases.
or didn't know how. So when you're sustaining, it's gonna be small bumps.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be
That's
small,
so good.
and you're gonna
Ooh.
have to do it with your divine partner. And that's
Wow.
another lesson that I've learned in my first marriage. Keep it in the four walls. Keep it in the four walls. Because,
Mm.
sacredness is between you and God, right?
Yeah.
So that's how it should be in your divine partnership. Just keep it between you two.
Mm.
And you can come
Yeah.
out to talk about it when it comes to light, like how I'm talking about it now.
Yeah.
When I spoke to you last, I was having issues in
Mm.
my marriage, like I was in a bump.
Right.
And nobody would have known.
Right.
But now I can come back to share, like, that was a bump. We got over it. We're good now. And you know what?
Yeah.
And you know what? If something else comes along, I'm ready.
Yeah. That is so, I love that. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. Um, that was so powerful. That was so good, coach. You summed that thing up like in such a way. A lot of what you described is a lot of what in my process of healing and purging of what I was able to see, like, oh, like you didn't do this in the marriage, and you could have done this and you could have done that, but you didn't because of either anger or you felt drained or whatever. That what you just described
Yeah.
is so real. Um, it's so real, and it happens to the best of us. But like you said, forgiving yourself but understanding those lessons. Like I'm like a student when it comes to that. When I'm being
Yeah.
processed like that, when God is showing me things like that,
Yeah.
I write that stuff down. I don't play about that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all, I hope, oh my God, I hope y'all had, because she came ready this time. She was ready
Yeah.
last time. I mean, she shared her story, her journey and stuff like that, but y'all, she really came to I mean, she's been since we started dropping gems left and right. I really hope for the woman that is ready. I'm going to have all of Coach Mary's information in the description. Y'all know whether it's the visual version on YouTube or it's on all of the other places where you can listen to podcasts. Reach out to her if you are absolutely in a space and ready for your divine love. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter which door that you are in or
No.
swinging in and out of that she described. She's got you. She understands. She
Yeah.
knows what it's like to be there. And if you are ready and in a space where you're like, yeah, coach, I'm ready to find my divine love. I want this sacred love that Coach Mary is talking about. Please do not hesitate to reach out to her. Y'all, I don't interview people that I don't feel like are experts in what they're talking about. That's one thing that I do not do. So
Right.
please rest assured, anybody that is gracing this podcast is somebody that is worth reaching out to if you are in that space and you want further help. Coach Mary, this right here, like, oh my God, this was everything.
Throwing gems today, huh?
I mean, you came out the gate swinging, okay? You came out the gate ready. She had her pen and her pad, y'all. She was like, no, I got some stuff I need to say. I love it. I lived, and as always, I absolutely love learning.
Yes.
I maintain the posture of the student, and I learned so much just off of this interview today. And yeah, you guys' coach is in purge mode. Don't come over here because she's purging. All right. You don't want to get your feelings hurt. If you don't want to be told no, like I had to tell other people no for stupid stuff like text messages, just let me purge. I love it. I love it. Tell the people where they can connect with you on social media so that they can, follow you and be inspired as they go on their sacred and divine love journey.
Okay, so I have my website, divineloveguide.com. I have a 30-minute training that goes really deep into the cognitive awareness and energetics. And then I have an application where you can apply to work with me one on one. I work one on one because, like we said before, everyone is different. And I want it to be really tailored because everyone's journey is different. So that's why it's one on one. And as Robin can vouch for me that in this market space of coaches, one-on-one is now very limited because it's not cost effective. But I love what I do, and I believe that you deserve the one-on-one attention to get the divine
Yes.
love that you deserve.
Yes, absolutely. Y'all, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. As per usual, all the links and stuff will be in the description and in the show notes. And if you don't remember anything else, remember to believe in your future so much that you outlive your past. This has been another opportunity for you to be empowered to simply birth her. I believe in you. Coach Mary believes in you.
Yes.
And until next time, we'll see you soon. Bye, y'all.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Birth Her the podcast with Robin Robbins, the midwife. Don't forget to connect on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Robin D. Robbins. Important links for this episode can be found in the description. Until next time, share this podcast with a friend. Blessings and much love, beautiful soul.